Hey, thanks for coming over. We met after all. So, here at the Red Solar Serpent, we have this really nice affirmation which we're going to get right into. I pulse in order to survive. So, it's really, that in order thing is really, really clear. That survival, you can really have that energy rounded off. It's like that survival can be kind of a frantic thing, but that pulse, I pulse. I find that rhythm. I find that showing up gradually for a thing in order to bring that survival energy, in order to actually kind of manifest it, right? We're not struggling to do it, we're kind of allowing it. I pulse in order to survive. Realizing instinct. Within this pulse is a realization, and that is the natural instinctual conduity within this event, within this thing, within the self that is showing up for you within the energy of the day. I pulse in order to survive, realizing instinct. There's also an energy here of the instincts themselves being realized. What are they? What are their programming? What is the rhythm in the way that they show up? What are they connected to? Especially like in our culture, like this energy represents a very primal energy, which in some way is, better suited for an outdoor environment and better suited for a tribal environment. When we're living in this kind of modern day energy, in some way, it's not as clear what that looks like. And so I think this also gives us a chance to really check back into those more primal forces in our life, kind of connect with them. It can be very healthy. I pulse in order to survive, realizing instinct. I seal the store of life force with the solar tone of intention. And so now we're moving on to the next time cell, which is store. We have that input, which is the energy coming in, and now we're beginning to store it. And how appropriately that the first thing we're storing is life force. So that pulse, that motion, realizing instinct, it's almost instinctual nature to have this pulse. In some way, the sexual energy moving is just like that, especially when it's moving naturally through the body. Maybe you're having some epic sexual experience. I'm sure there's a lot of pulsing going on in its own way. And so I feel the sexual energy generally has a pulse-related energy, whether subtle and more internal, whether external and more physical, whether alone, whether with others. There's a movement here. And that storage, as it turns on, I seal the storage of life force with intention. And so it's like it's really going to be stored as we act intentionally with it. It's like this energy needs to be guided by our intent, or directed, because I am guided by the power of birth. This is representing the dragon. And so this is very interesting. That being said, watch out you don't get someone pregnant today. For all you guys out there who are, really horny. Just that signifying I'm guided by the power of birth. Yesterday was the seed, things of this nature, as well as it also holds kind of like a phoenix energy. That life force is being stored and directed by the power of that intention. And this is all guided by my own birthing. It's like this own energy that's moving is present because there is an immaculate conception going on, an immaculate birth that is happening within you, or within life that you're experiencing, which is most likely within you. And I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me. One of 52 very special days that has a deep mystery attached to it that asks us to go deep into that mystery, to go deep in that portal. And I have to point out, because it's just so indicative to it, the power of birth, I am a galactic activation portal, enter me. It kind of sounds like some penetration. It kind of sounds like a yearning lover in many ways, especially when combined in this way with these particular words and this particular energy. I find that's kind of cool today, especially because of yesterday. The serpent itself just has a general energy of this, but yesterday being the seed, and the seed has also a very sexual energy to it. It's very life force based because it is the nature of growth. It is the nature of budding life, becoming a flower. And this too is another format of that, I feel, but has different qualities in the way that it arises in our life and the way that we interact with it. I pulse in order to survive, realizing instinct. I seal the store of life force with the solar tone of intention. I am guided by the power of birth. I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me. Oh. Well, this is the affirmation section of today's episode of 1320 Time Stream. Stay tuned for the Oracle section.